to WAC Vegas. 3 weeks from today is the start of the tournament. The WAC Spotlight game on ESPN Plus returns on Thursday night as Utah Valley hosts Chicago State. Remember, 2 years ago, CSU beat the Wolverines in Orem. Cougar senior Rob Shaw is second in the WAC in assists, averaging 5.3 per contest. He also led the team with 16 points in their last game on Saturday against GCU. As a team, Chicago State is averaging 6 steals per game. This is head coach Lance Irvin's first trip to Orem as the Cougars head coach. The Cougars are still looking for their first road win of the season. Senior Anthony Harris leads the team, averaging more than 14 points per game. Harris scored a team-high 17 points in the Cougars' previous matchup with Utah Valley on January 26th. He also has scored in double figures each of the last 4 games. As for the home team, Utah Valley is coming off a tough road win against UTRGV. They're 9-1 at home this season and knocked off the Cougars 74-60 last month. Senior Connor Tolson is second on the Wolverines in scoring at better than 12 points per contest. He put up 16 points against Chicago State in their previous matchup. He leads the team in steals with 1.7 a game, which is also good for third in the WAC. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head coach of Utah Valley, the one and only Mark Pope. We'll be right back.
In the WAC, we take pride in our character.
When we win with humility.
And when we lose with dignity.
We know that how we act toward our opponent, the officials, and the fans defines the game.
Not the scoreboard.
And we know that showing respect will always outweigh any trophy.
Because when we focus on fair play,
we can't lose.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
We're now joined by Mark Pope, the Utah Valley men's basketball head coach. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Good. All right, Coach. You came off of a tough win against UTRGV. Come back. What was the difference between the first and second half of that game?
Well, I mean, UTRGV is playing great. Lou's done an unbelievable job. You know, when you looked at the guys they lost were so key to their program last year, and then to come back and get on a hot streak like they're on right now, right? We know how hard that Grand Canyon Bakersfield trip is, and then to win games on the front and back end of that trip. Those guys are playing at a really high level right now. They disrupt everything you try and do offensively. So, you know, I think they're number 2 still in terms of forced turnovers and steals in the country. And so we knew that we had to really take care of the ball. We did a better job of that in the second half. I felt like in the second half we did a better job kind of not being on our heels so much and being aggressive. And the guys just kind of gutted out a win.
And you guys are featured in our Spotlight game for the week against Chicago State. But Chicago State won in Orem 2 years ago. Will you remind your guys of that?
Our guys know that. We've reminded them of that. Actually, we do all the time. And, you know, those are great teaching moments, not just for your team, but for your program, right? And so this Chicago State team is not a bad team. Lance has done an unbelievable job coming into a really, really hard situation and getting his guys to come play hard, and they run some good actions, and they're pretty good through the course of the game at focusing in on the things that are working for them and attacking the weaknesses that their opponent has, and so this every single game is a great challenge. It was a really tough game out in Chicago when we played them earlier this season, so we expected to be a real fight here.
But you guys already won at Chicago State at the end of January. Bailey Steele had 12 boards on that game. What will you be expecting out of him to play that well again?
Well, Bailey, you know, Bailey's on a string of double-doubles. He was a little shy of it at Rio Grande Valley, but I think he had 3 in a row before that game, and has been playing at a high level. You know, for bigs, one of the things that we thought about with Bailey from this summer was how soon is this game going to start to slow down for him. That's the way it works with bigs a lot of times, is especially with a guy that plays with so much intensity and energy that Bailey does. And so we're seeing signs of this gradual process of this game slowing down for him, and for him being more efficient and more effective. He's been on a great run for us, and we need him to continue that. The bigs in this league are really good, and you know, when it's all said and done, when he finishes here, he's going to be among the best in this league, and that's where we need him to be.
And then let's talk about your Toulson cousins. How did that recruiting go? Who did you talk to first? How did you get them both to come out there?
The recruiting was completely independent of each other. We had and really different pathways. Connor Toulson was a terrific player on a high school team here at Lone Peak High School, which actually was the figurative national champion several years ago. It was an unbelievable team, and there were really 5 big-time players on that team. 3 went Division I, and will all have professional contracts after. 1 is already playing professionally, and then 1 player from that team went and played Division I football, and he's a star at a high major football team right now. And Connor Toulson was the 5th. And the interesting thing about Connor was that I was recruiting guys from this team, and so every time we go to the gym, Connor would be the 2nd leading scorer. He'd go like 7 for 8 from the field. He'd be in the right spot every single time. But at that time, he was like 6'1" and weighed about 65 pounds, right? And but he was a really good player. We just weren't sure. And then I was at a different school at the time, and then I came to Utah Valley, and he had left to serve a mission for his church, and when he came back, we actually had some conversations with coaches before he came back, and we're thinking about maybe he would be a good guy for our program, and weren't quite sure. And then he walked back, and he walked onto our campus one day to go play with our guys, and I saw him walking on the hall, and he was a totally different human being. And so he went to junior college, won a national championship, and came our way. So that was his story. And Jake Toulson is this just extraordinary young man that I was actually an assistant coach at BYU and got to coach him there. And then I came here, and just the way things worked, he ended up coming here a year later, and he's just been an unbelievable player for us. So we're really fortunate to have both those guys.
I'm sure you are definitely happy to have them both. They're both performing so well this season. But let's talk about the UCT Youth Center now. You guys are 9-1 at home. What makes it such a good place for UVU to play?
Well, I think our guys are really comfortable in the gym. I think we're working really, really hard to grow our home crowd, our fan support. But the fans that are there regularly are pretty boisterous and pretty excited about it. We were really disappointed about the loss to New Mexico State, because at the time we had the 2nd longest home winning streak in the country at 23. And so it was ironic that New Mexico State got us here, because we had gone to their place 2 years earlier, or a year earlier, I think, and broken their 40-game home winning streak. So we're not doing each other any favors right now. But I think our guys are really comfortable here. We love our fans that come out. We take great pride. It's always been a point of focus for us to win at home, and so far we've had great success.
It makes for fun basketball when streaks get ruined, and that just means you have to continue to build those streaks again, right, Coach?
That's right. That's right.
All right, Coach, and then on Saturday you guys have UMKC rolling into town. They just beat Grand Canyon and CSU Bakersfield. What's making them so hot right now?
Well, Kareem is a terrific coach. He's done an unbelievable job in not easy circumstances either. They're so aggressive and so disruptive. They have guards that can handle ball screens all by themselves, that can play really, really physically. They have a couple guys in the post that can go get baskets on their own. They play a really high tempo. The guys are playing really well together. They're really dangerous, as they showed last weekend. And we're going to have our hands full with both these teams at home.
Well, Coach, we wish you best of luck, and we'll see you out in Vegas in just a couple of weeks. I appreciate your time today.
All right, have a great day.
All right, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the women's matchups for this week. We'll be right back.
Adrenaline, passion, triumph. Moments that'll never be forgotten. The 2019 WAC basketball tournament at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, March 13th through the 16th. Be a part of the madness. Get your tickets now at OrleansArena.com.
Welcome back to the road to WAC Vegas. 3 weeks from today, hopefully you'll be joining us in Sin City for the WAC tournament. The women will start off the tournament on Wednesday, March 13th. New Mexico State has a chance to clinch the top seed and a share of the WAC regular season championship with a win on Saturday at UTRGV. The Vaqueros are currently number 2 in the WAC, but trail the Aggies by 3 games. They will battle it out on Saturday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. Central Time on the WAC Digital Network. The last time these two teams played, the Aggies beat UTRGV back at the end of January, 71-63. NM State is currently on a 10-game win streak as they just survived against Seattle U, where they were down by 7 at halftime. Brooke Salas had her 17th double-double. She's currently averaging 19.4 points a game and 11.5 rebounds a game. That's best in the WAC in both categories. Her 2.6 steals a game is second in the conference. As for the number 2 spot, UTRGV fell to Utah Valley to skid their 5-game win streak. The Vaqueros allowed the Wolverines to finish the game on a 27-9 run. Madison Northcutt is second overall in points for the Vaqueros, averaging 9.2 points a game, and she leads in rebounds with 8.1 a game. In other women's action, Thursday evening, Grand Canyon travels to California Baptist. The Lancers have now won 4 games in a row. That'll be on the WDN starting at 7 p.m. Pacific time. On Saturday, the 7-4 women of Utah Valley will take on 6-5 Kansas City at 2 p.m. Central Time on the WDN. On the men's side, Grand Canyon hosts California Baptist. That is a 6 p.m. Mountain start time on ESPN3 on Thursday. On Saturday, league-leading New Mexico State hosts UTRGV. Like their women, the Aggies can clinch the top seed and a share of the regular season championship with a win. That game is on the WAC Digital Network at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. This week's contest winner goes to CSU Bakersfield Superfan. I asked for the best costume that you would wear in Vegas, and we've all seen him rocking his blue suit. He also got some other nominations, so congrats to Jordan. You're headed to Vegas. DM me by Monday, February 25th, so I can get you your tickets. This week's contest, I want you guys to show me why you're the biggest fan of your favorite WAC school and why you should go to Vegas. Make a video no longer than a minute telling me why you should get the tickets. And we're only 3 weeks away from the tournament, so make sure you grab your tickets from Ticketmaster.com. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Road to WAC Vegas. For the WDN, I'm Rachel Vigil.